They say you don't really know what you're made of until a blizzard tries to bury your whole life, and your so-called community tries to bury you right along with it. I mean, get this, where I live, saving your neighbors in the middle of a deadly storm is apparently a crime. Yeah, you heard that right. Maple Ridge Estates, the neighborhood that looked so perfect in the realtor's brochure. I just spent 18 back-breaking hours plowing snow, didn't charge a single soul, dug out a half-dozen trapped families, an 83-year-old widow, even a Vietnam vet fresh off heart surgery. My lungs still burn from diesel fumes, my boots are soaked straight through, and I'm dragging myself home half frozen after midnight thinking, at least I did something good today. And that's when Victoria Piton comes stomping across the street. She's the HOA president, by the way, and looks exactly how you'd expect. She slaps this neon orange violation notice right on my chest and tells me I'm being fined $800 for unauthorized commercial snow removal. I stare at her like, "Are you kidding me, Victoria? I wasn't charging anyone." She just shrugs. "I don't care. People like you don't get to play hero in neighborhoods like this." Her words cut colder than the wind. But what she didn't realize is this war was about to get personal. She picked the wrong neighbor to mess with. Look, my name's Jake Morrison. 3 years ago, I thought moving here was the best decision I'd ever made. Good schools for my twins Megan and Tyler, both 16. The kind of place where Saturdays smell like bacon grease and fresh coffee, where kids ride bikes in the street not glued to their phones. I'm a union electrician, 22 years working with these calloused hands. Lost my wife Sarah to cancer 4 years back. 18 months of chemo, the whole house smelled like a hospital in hope. When Sarah was gone, the kids and I just needed somewhere to feel normal again. Most folks here, they're all right. Mrs. Elise, she bakes cookies that smell like childhood. Bob Kellerman, the Vietnam vet, he's got hands that tremble, but his heart is pure gold. Young families wave as their toddlers chase bubbles over lawns trimmed so tight you could bounce a quarter off them. But then there's Victoria Pimpton, 58, freshly divorced, living in the biggest house on the block, driving a white Lexus with HOA 1 plates. She measures her neighbor's grass with an actual ruler. I'm serious. I've seen her crouched in designer jeans measuring like she's dusting for fingerprints at a crime scene. She took over the HOA 2 years back right after her divorce. Word is her ex got tired of living with someone who organizes her spice rack alphabetically and insists the mail be sorted by sender. Lucky us, we all got front row seats to her control issues. Then there's her son, Derek. He starts Sterling Grounds LLC exactly 6 months after Mom grabs power. Pure coincidence, right? Suddenly his company's the neighborhood's exclusive vendor. No bids, no vote, just bam. Here's your $250 per driveway snow removal bill. That's more than I make wiring a whole house. I bought a used plow attachment for my F-250, thought maybe I'd pick up a few bucks in winter. Last March, when a freak snowstorm buried the neighborhood, I helped dig people out. Didn't charge a dime. That apparently was my first crime. This year, forecasters start screaming historic blizzard coming, 24 inches, 50-mile-per-hour winds. City says they'll only clear the main roads. Residential streets were on our own. So 4 a.m., I fire up the truck. Start with folks who really need it. Mrs. Elise's driveway slopes into the street. Bob's turns into an ice rink. Young families with babies they might need to make a hospital run. It was brutal. My throat burned from diesel wind trying to flip my truck. I was navigating by porch lights and mailbox reflectors like I'm on some Arctic expedition. My spine felt like glass after 12 hours, but every cleared driveway meant somebody could sleep a little easier. 47 driveways, 18 hours? I refused every offer of money, coffee, even a sandwich. Just wanted folks safe before the whole neighborhood froze solid. And that's when Victoria made her move. She shows up in snow boots that probably cost more than my truck payment, almost slips on the very ice I just cleared for her. "Do you have a permit for commercial snow removal?" She snaps, breath fogging in the frozen air. I tell her, "Ma'am, I haven't charged anybody. I'm just helping neighbors." Her smile could freeze fire. She whips out her phone, starts taking pictures of my truck, my plow. Mrs. Elise's cleared driveway. We'll see about that. 48 hours later, Monday morning, I find the violation notice taped to my door, official seal, the whole works. $800 fine, 14 days to pay, or interest kicks in. For what? For being a decent human. The rage in my chest could melt the driveway all over again. See, back when Sarah was sick, I learned my way around legal documents. HOA rules require evidence of compensation or payment. No payment, no violation. I've got receipts for my diesel fuel 47 neighbors who'll swear under oath I refused payment. But Victoria, she's planned this. Tuesday. Tom Kowalski, my neighbor, retired state trooper, built like a brick wall, knocks on my door. He's holding an envelope that smells like trouble. Jake, emergency board meeting Thursday night. You're the main event. Turns out Victoria's called a public tribunal to crucify me, sent certified letters to every homeowner warning about the danger of letting unauthorized contractors in. She paints me as some kind of threat to home values, forget this plowing driveways for free. Thursday night, community center's tense. Victoria shows up late, manila folder thick as a brick, navy blazer, hair done up like she's running for office. She spreads out professional grade photos, my truck, my plow, me talking to Mrs. Elise. She's been stalking me all weekend, documenting every minute like I'm breaking into homes, not shoveling snow. As you can clearly see, she says Mr. Morrison operated commercial equipment throughout the neighborhood. She even twists photos of neighbors offering me coffee into some kind of payment negotiation. But then Bill Morrison, board member, retired lawyer, raises his hand. Sharp-eyed, doesn't miss a trick. Victoria, these photos show a neighbor helping during an emergency. They don't prove commercial activity. The room erupts. Mrs. Elise gets up, voice shaking, tells everyone how I saved her from being trapped. Bob talks about his heart. Parents talk about their sick kids. The vote 3-2, the fine is suspended pending investigation. I should feel relieved. Instead, I feel like I just dodged the first bullet in a long gunfight. Friday, I get a storm cleanup assessment from Sterling Grounds LLC, $7,050 for lost revenue due to unauthorized competitive services. They're billing me for money they didn't earn from jobs nobody asked for. Victoria's War kicks up a notch, parking citation on my own truck, $250. Landscape violation for grass too tall under 2 feet of snow. Revoked pool privileges for my kids so they lose their summer lifeguard jobs. All for the crime of kindness. Tom knocks again, this time with a banker's box smelling like justice. Turns out Victoria never had board approval for Sterling's exclusive contract, just her signature, no meeting, no vote. Dr. Kim, our neighborhood doc, is furious. Elderly patients got hurt trying to shovel some landed in urgent care because they couldn't afford Sterling's rates. While we connect the dots, Victoria's busy papering the neighborhood with flyers. Is your neighbor running an illegal business? The Nextdoor app turns into a war zone. Victoria's crowd worries about property values. My supporters share stories, photos, and screenshots showing I never took a dime. Comment threads go on forever. Victoria's next move, a cease and desist from her lawyer, plus a threat to put a lien on my house if I don't pay. Memories flood back, almost losing our home during Sarah's cancer. But my kids surprise me. Megan dives into legal databases, finds the Good Samaritan Act. Tyler discovers Derek's Instagram, where he brags about storm cleanup specials during the same blizzard when I was working for free. I realize I'm not alone. Every neighbor find lately has trade experience a pattern. This isn't about rules. It's about eliminating competition. Victoria tries to ram through a special assessment, $200 per household, to hire private security enough to cover Sterling's retainer and her legal fees. But the cracks are showing. Cynthia Walsh, usually the quietest board member, shows up at my door one night, pale hands trembling. She reveals Victoria's been approving contracts for her own relatives' landscaping, pool, security, all exclusive, all with padded rates. And it gets worse. Sterling's billing includes $2,000 a month for consulting, $24K a year for advice on when winter might show up. Tom helps me crunch the numbers. Over 18 months, Victoria's network has overcharged homeowners by $50,000 compared to market rates. Then the threats start slashed. Tires, anonymous letters, stop digging, or your kids learn what real danger feels like. It's not just me. Tom gets harassing calls. Dr. Kim's practice gets flooded with fake negative reviews. Bill gets regulatory complaints. Victoria's losing control, making mistakes. Her son's truck gets caught on camera slashing my tires. But the best part, Victoria never filed conflict of interest disclosures, a huge no-no. Bill discovers her insurance doesn't cover consulting fraud. The community pressure builds. News crews show up, other HOA communities reach out. This isn't just a neighborhood spat anymore. Pete, my boss at Morrison Electric, calls me in. Victoria's tried to get me fired, but Pete's having none of it. Keep fighting, Jake, he tells me. You're the most honest guy I've ever hired. Next Thursday's hearing is set, the final showdown. Tom uncovers the Community Association Fraud Prevention Act. Any resident can file for a state investigation, which triggers automatic removal of board members, freezes assets, and can lead to federal mail fraud charges. Cynthia brings the smoking gun signed vendor contracts without board approval meeting minutes that don't exist. Victoria's been forging documents for 18 months. By now I realize I'm not the one on trial. Victoria is. The evidence is overwhelming: kickbacks, fraud, racketeering. Her response: she tries to bribe me, offers to drop all fines plus $5,000 if I sign a non-disclosure agreement. I play along just to see how desperate she gets. Next thing, more slashed tires, more threats to my family. But Derek's truck is on camera, time-stamped. The police take it seriously now. This is felony witness intimidation. Thursday night, the community center is packed, 150 neighbors, TV cameras, local prosecutors. Victoria shows up late, hair perfect, folder thin as a napkin. She tries to spin it as harassment, claims I'm running a vendetta because she enforced the rules. I don't even argue. I just put up the timeline contracts approved months before any board meeting. Cynthia's documents show there were never any votes. Bill presents the audit. Sterling charged $400 per driveway. Market rate is $100. $127,000 stolen from us. Neighbors start telling their stories. Mrs. Elise stands shaking, but her voice is strong. Victoria, people suffered because of your greed. Federal agent Maria Santos enters, badge out, announces warrants for Victoria's financial documents. Victoria tries to push through the crowd. She actually tries to flee. Cops cuff her in front of everyone. The vote to remove her unanimous. 6 months later, justice is served. Victoria pleads guilty: federal mail fraud, racketeering, intimidation. Probation, $50,000. Restitution, 500 hours of community service helping the same neighbors she tried to rob. Derek's business collapses. The $127,000 gets turned into a neighborhood fund for emergency help. Mrs. Elise runs it now. Bob leads disaster prep. Dr. Kim starts a nonprofit to loan out medical equipment. New laws pass: mandatory vendor competition, conflict of interest disclosures with real teeth. Our story becomes a case study for reform. Me, I got elected HOA president unopposed. My only promise: transparency and fairness. Megan and Tyler got scholarships. Turns out fighting corruption looks good on a college application. Our garden for Sarah is now the heart of the neighborhood. Sometimes all it takes is one person refusing to back down. Victoria tried to fine me for being human. Instead, she taught an entire community what justice feels like. And here's the thing: I could have settled, walked away, let it all slide. But what good is a community if we let bullies win? So let me ask you, where do you draw the line? When does standing up become worth the fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your stories, your wins, your hard lessons. Because in the end, it's not about HOA rules or vendor contracts. It's about neighbors standing up for each other when it matters most.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.